So the reason I call this solving by rewriting is because a lot of the time having a fraction kind of throws people off. Even though that's the same denominator, I would, if I'm solving and the only problems I can solve are those with an equal sign in them, if I'm solving, I really would rather not work with fractions if I don't have to. So I would start out here by multiplying everything in here by 7. Because when I do that, I'll just put my thoughts over here. 3x over 7 times 7 over 1. The 7's cancel and I just end up with 3x. Or if I do 7 over 1 times 2 over 7, the second one, 7's cancel and I end up just with 2. And then of course 7 times 2 is just going to give me 14. That is a problem that you could have solved in the first semester of Algebra 1, I'm sure of it. So I'll just kind of breeze through it because I know at this point everybody's fine with solving these. Now, when I get an answer like x equals 4, if I'm taking a test or even doing my homework, I always like to check and make sure that it's right. If I'm going to check, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the original problem, 3x over 7 plus 2 over 7 is supposed to equal 2. Since I'm saying that x is 4, I'm going to plug in a 4 for x and see if that's true. Is it true that 12 over 7 plus 2 over 7 equals 2? Let's see, 12 over 7 plus 2 over 7 is 14 over 7. Does that equal 2? Yes. I know I got it right. So here's another problem. Now this one is a little bit long. It looks a little bit daunting, but if I tackle it in kind of a methodical way, maybe it's not going to be so bad. So I'm just going to go ahead and use the distributive property, and I'm going to distribute that 4x in, and 4x times x is 4x squared, and 4x times 2 is 8x, so that's going to be 4x squared minus 8x. On the other side, you could do a rectangle. I'm just going to use FOIL. 2x times 2x gives me 4x squared. For outer, I see I have 2x times negative 3, which is negative 6x. But then here for inner, I have 1 times 2x, which is positive 2x. So I can combine negative 6x and positive 2x to get negative 4x. And then the last times the last, 1 times negative 3 is just going to give me negative 3. To solve this problem, what I would do is go ahead and subtract 4x squared from both sides, which this is good news for me because 0 minus 8x is just negative 8x. 0 minus 4x minus 3 is just minus 4x minus 3. And so I just got rid of all of the x squared terms. Now I'm just going to go ahead and add 4x to both sides of the equation. So I get negative 4x equals negative 3. So x must be 3/4. And again, if I want to check that, I would just take it and plug it into the original problem. 4 times 3/4 times 3/4 minus 2 has to equal 2 times 3/4 plus 1 times 2 times 3/4 minus 3. So I just plugged in wherever there was an x before, I plugged in 3/4. So there's all the x's. It became 3/4 now. I'm just going to see if that's true. 4 times 3/4, everybody should be able to do that in their head at this point. The 4's are going to cancel and I just end up with 3. 3/4 minus 2, if you think about if you have 3/4 of a cup of sugar and I need 2 cups, I'm going to be short 1 1/4. Now I probably don't want to write that as negative 1 1/4, so I'm going to rewrite it as negative 5/4. And let's see, that has to equal, again, I'm going to go ahead and take 2, goes into both of those, so I get 3 over 2 plus 1. It's like 1 1/2 plus plus 1, which is 2.5, which I don't like to write as 2.5, so I would much prefer writing it as 5/2. And then over here, again, 2 is going to cancel, and I end up with 1.5 minus 3, which is negative 1.5. Oops. So that's just negative 3/2. Let's see if this is true. This is negative 15 over 4. Again, I'm just thinking of that 3 as being over 1 equals 5 times negative 3 is negative 15. 2 times 2 is 4. And that'll help you also strengthen some of your multiplication skills, your negatives, fractions, and all that. So there's my final answer, that x equals 3/4. And I know that I got it right because I checked it.